I made breakfast.
I realized the other day that because most of my subscribers are friends and family, outside of that circle, I haven't really introduced myself on YouTube. So I thought I'd do a little get to know me, life update, mukbang sort of thing, even though I don't really support mukbangs. We can maybe get to know each other and just have breakfast. Yuck, what was that? So, um, little update since my last vlog. I got a job. Very happy about it, having a lot of fun there, and feeling a lot better, like mentally. Like, you don't want to know how dark it got there for a little bit. Also, you're just gonna have to deal with my TMJ. I saw this meme that was like me with a job, me without a job, me looking for a job. I think it's definitely worse to be looking for a job. Um, Maybe that's just me. I don't know how to like relax really. Sorry about my cat hair top. To be honest, it's just everywhere and this is my bedtime shirt. So looking for a job is way worse than having a job and hating it because at least you have some kind of income coming in. I don't have savings, so it was really stressful and having to rely on a partner like that heavily is kind of scary for me, at least anyways. You're not as fun because it's like going outside costs money, staying inside costs money sometimes. So yeah, I got a job, so I'm really happy about that, and it's really fun. I work with a lot of younger people. I'm the oldest, like literally I'm older than the boss, which is, I don't feel that old. I'm not that old, seriously. There's just lots of successful people around me. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, getting to learn. Like, there was this one day I was fighting for my life, trying to keep up the conversation. Like, what are you talking about? But everyone's really cool. So I'm going to have to shamefully admit that I think I like working retail. I know. It seems so like, I remember working retail before and being like, fuck retail. I want to get an admin job, blah, blah, blah. And then now I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I can appreciate retail. Maybe it's because I'm in my 30s and like a completely different position, but I don't mind like talking to people. I actually like helping people out. Like, when I know what I'm doing, like when I can feel like I really help, there's like, you get little hits of dopamine working retail. And I've only had like one, touch wood, but I've only had one customer that was like kind of rude to me, and I just was like, oh, whatever. Like, I've done enough work to recognize you're projecting. And I literally just turned around. I stopped talking to her like mid sentence. I just walked away. Um, but other than that, like, I kind of really like it. I like hanging out with people. Um, I like a job where I can tick off things and go home with an empty mind. Do you know? Like, when I worked in admin and my other roles, it was like it's always in your mind, and like you come in, and also it's just, I think I need that social side where um I like to talk. I really like to talk while working. Like, the days that I really enjoyed in my old warehouse job were the days where we had to like unpack a whole lot of stock. And so your hands are working, you're constantly busy, but your mind is kind of empty. So we would just all talk. We used to call that like our podcasting sessions. Because the people I worked with were really cool as well. So it was nice to just talk to them and catch up with them. And this job, if you're my boss, I don't talk while I work, I swear. But I mean, like, you can kind of channel that with a customer. Like, you can talk to a customer and help them out. And like, you can work but still have like a relationship going with people you work with, which I didn't know that about myself. I thought like I was more, I know I'm not fully introverted, but I definitely need my time to like relax by myself. I love alone time, but I also love talking to cool people. Do you know? Like, I think it's different when you're around people that you're not comfortable with and that make you uncomfortable. That's different. But when you're around cool people, I really like it. I really like, so in summary, I'm enjoying this job. I used to work at a costume store warehouse. So it was like I managed the online store and then also like all the new products going in and all the shipments that came in and stuff. And I was saying the other day, because they still use my picture on their website, how it was a really fun job. It was different every day. Like, even though I'm not a cosplayer, I really enjoyed like learning about cosplay. And I've always loved dress ups and costuming and things like that. So it felt really nice, but it was just like time to move on because unfortunately my bosses don't know boundaries and professionalism. So that's why I left that job. Um, I won't go into the stories. There's too many stories to tell, but the other day I also got my hair done and I was with a hairdresser that I've never known before. Sorry, Mackenzie. Um, but so we were like just chatting and like I realized like how much I am an oversharer because I was telling her stories like from my old work because it's like it's a safe line like what do you do for work like blah blah blah, so I explain like where I work and then it kind of trails into like the jobs beforehand and I was telling her like all this stuff like basically I love spy shit, but I would be the easiest target for a spy because you wouldn't even need to prod or like pry. I would tell stuff like about work. Personal life, no, but I was like, oh yeah, this happened and then that happened and then this is the process. Like I was like looking around the salon, like, who's here? It's Perth, so it's super small. Oh, I live in Perth. Cool. Um, Sorry. Yes, but I have like a little ledge, and it's too, in my opinion, it's too high for him to jump down. I don't want him to like hurt his legs. I just got employed. I don't have savings. I can't afford the vet fees. But so he meows and lets me know like when he's ready to come down. And yesterday I was scrolling on my phone. I must have not heard it. And all I saw was I was scrolling on my phone and I like heard a little commotion and saw him jumping down. I was like, no, Manjo, no. Oh yeah, so that's my cat, Manjo. So I have a cat who's the love of my life. Sorry, Andrew. He's a Persian. I got him off Gumtree because his old mum was moving to Melbourne. And so, because he's a Persian and with the flat nose, he can't move. Oh, sorry, he can't fly. So she had to give him up, which I think would have been the hardest thing ever because he's so cute. And so, yeah, I saw his ad on Gumtree. And I was kind of like flirting with the idea of getting a cat because I love cats. But like, I don't know, it's a big commitment. So I was like, oh, I'm about to get a cat. Like, it was always a thought on the back burner. It was actually Andrew's mum that showed me his listing, and I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. He looked so grumpy on his ad, and it was so cute. And the first thing I thought, like, I saw this picture of him. He must have just woken up in bed, and it gave me Andrew vibes. And I was like, this cat is Andrew. And so I reached out to her. He was still available. He was actually about to go to a family before I inquired, but she pulled the plug on that. She said, like, he really won't suit kids. And I agree. Like, he's very sweet and gentle, but he doesn't like to be picked up that much. Like, we pick him up, but I think he knows he gets something out of it. Like, we take him for, like, walks in our backyard. We pick him up. So he's okay with that, but like I can't cuddle him. Like if I was to grab him and like hold him like this, he'd be like, "Get off me, woman." So she actually said no. So thank you for that. But yeah, so she moved over to Melbourne, and some people do drive over, but she couldn't drive. She said she has no license. So and also I don't want to drive across Australia. I think people who do that, like, you're so brave, but I've heard about Ivan Milat. Does anyone else have that moment where they're like, oh, I'm eating eggs, but I hate being wasteful? I grew up a little bit in the Philippines. Like, we'd go back and forth every year and spend like the whole summer in the Philippines. So like as soon as school was finished, or even like the week before school finished, you know, when you have that just like piss take week where it's just like wrapping up stuff and reports, and you basically sit and watch TV all day anyways, we'd leave for the Philippines and then come back. I always remember it was always around my birthday, because school would start like the week after my birthday, which is Feb. And I always remember it because like I had birthdays on the plane a lot of the time, and I used to get presents, like just toys from the stewardesses, and it felt so special, like it's my birthday, I'm in the air. Also, we tried to move over there once, and like to go to school and everything. Like we were going to move to the Philippines, and I think we did a few months and then we came back. I'll have to ask my mum why, but I think a lot of it had to do with school. And I remember sitting that test because they obviously need to know like where to put me, what grade. So I had to do a school test, and it was so hard. Like obviously the teacher couldn't help me because she was like, you need to do it on your own. Like you need to figure out on your own so that it's an accurate representation of where you're supposed to be. And I remember big difference in schooling in the Philippines and Australia, because I distinctly remember learning greater than and less than in high school. High school is when we learnt that. And that was in literally like, you learn that in like kindy or whatever in the Philippines. And it was on my test paper. Like I remember there being like 3 is or isn't greater than 5. Like complete the sentence, complete the equation. And I was like, I literally turned to the teacher and was like, what do I do? I don't know what this is. What is this triangle thing? And I think she was just like, I'm just going like this. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I remember like the first few days of school we had, and I remember it being like information overload. Like I was like, what do you mean now we're doing Tagalog? Like why? I've just done like 7 subjects in one day. I'm so tired. Can we stop? So I found that really difficult, especially Tagalog, when like my mum never spoke to me in Tagalog. It's Bisaya only. And so like it's very different. And I actually tried to learn Tagalog when I was older, like a few years back. And even though like I can understand Bisaya, I wouldn't be confidently say fluent, which is another story. I'll get to that. But I can understand, like definitely hear and understand Bisaya. I have to be back in Cebu to like get it back to being able to speak properly. But where was I going with this? Oh, so I was like, surely Tagalog isn't that hard. Like I can kind of grasp it. You know, like you watch TV, like Tagalog shows, and I can kind of understand what's going on. And a lot of it is like piecing together in my head. So it's not fully understanding, it's just piecing together. But I remember being like, what the fuck is this? Like I said to Andrew, Tagalog is a language for people with a stutter. Why is it like bayan? Do you know what I mean? I was like, fuck me, this is so hard to grasp. Like, I don't know. Kudos to everyone that can speak Tagalog, because that shit is hard. And I think a different like tone and intonation to Bisaya. What I was going to say about Bisaya was, it's so funny because growing up we were fluent in Bisaya, especially my brother. Because we were there for like 3 months straight, everyone's just speaking in Bisaya. Like you pick it up, you're more fluent and it's easier to speak. I definitely struggle these days, and I'm also very shy to speak, so I don't really speak. Like my cousins and my friends will speak to me in Bisaya and I'll reply in English. So it's like kind of, we both don't want the nosebleed, you know? But I remember growing up, like being in a taxi and speaking in Bisaya, and always the taxi drivers would be like, oh, slang kai ka, like you're so slang. And I always used to think that was like, oh, because, you know, like we're fluent, but we have an Australian accent, so maybe that's why. But little did I realize, it was only until I met another girl at another job, and she was half Filipino as well. And we were going out one night, and they were speaking in Bisaya, and I was like, what? Huh? What are you talking about? And then they were like, I thought you said you're fluent. I was like, yeah, but that's not how I would say that. I realized that I learnt like the hood version of Bisaya because obviously that's where my mum's from and it's very slang. So like how I explain it to people is like, you know, in England, you've got like the posh English sound, the language, the intonation, and then you've got like, you're right in it. That's how I've been speaking Bisaya, which I think is like cool, but also so embarrassing. Like, imagine being like, oh, yes, I speak English. And like, you're right, love. Yeah, it's mint in it. Like, grateful anyway to be bilingual. But I think if I'm going to learn something, I should probably learn Bisaya properly before I learn Tagalog. Also, I can't. Tagalog is too much. Extra, you're doing too much with the syllables. Oh, I'm half Filipino. I'm half Filipino, half Scottish, hence why I went to Scotland with my dad. But I was born in a mining town because, you know, people who come to WA, that's what they do. They work in mining. But also, I was talking to a friend that I used to work with, and we were talking about being like an Asian baby in Australia. And when I was born, my mum told me that I had jaundice. So they kept me under the lamp for a little bit. And I told my friend this who was studying medicine, and she was like, you know that happens a lot, like just because you're an Asian baby. Like people think that you're jaundiced, but you're just a little bit yellow because you're Asian. I was like, really? Because where I was born is quite a like, at the time it would have been like a rural mining town, and so like I don't know how many Asians were up there, you know? I've honestly never really thought about going back to Karratha. I don't have any like personal attachment to it. It's just where I was born and where my parents met and lived when I was born. I think because I've only ever grown up in cities, and even like in the Philippines, it was central. Like we were in the city center. So I'm very much like a city slicker, I think. I really love being outside of like going outside of the cities, but it's just my concept of like living there is so different. Like I'm very ignorant. Like, so I would like to explore more and see more because, you know, one day I'm going to live on a farm. So I need to get used to that. That's my goal. That's my dream in life. And I was thinking this actually yesterday. I was like, I am not made for this 21st century life, hustle and grind, like culture. Like, I used to be down on myself and be like, you're weak, you can't handle it like everyone else can handle it. Why can't you handle it? You can't keep down a job. And like, maybe that's a conversation for a therapist. But what I kind of started thinking was, I don't think humans are built for this life. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm like halfway through my coffee, so now I'm like getting all philosophical. But do you know, like, I don't think, like, maybe that's not something to be so angry at yourself about, is to not be able to take like the modern pressure, the pressures of modern life and the structure that it is now, and capitalism, basically. Yeah, so I just was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I was thinking this about texting as well the other day. Like, I fucking hate texting. Laying that out on the line now, I hate it. I would rather bring back phone conversations. Bring back phone conversations. And like, social skills, you know, I'd rather you just call me, ask a question if you need to, and then go. I'd hate the texting. I really do. And there's no conversation to it. Do you know, I don't know, like, I really just hate it. I really do. I think that it's like inauthentic. I think that it's not your proper response. Like, to have that much, like, there's been people I know that like just text every fucking thought, and that's fine, but I'd rather hear that thought and discuss it out, not just like, I feel like it becomes replying for the sake of like something to do. I don't know. I have no thoughts that are forming today, sorry. I really don't want to eat this anymore. But yeah, I really hate it. So that's one fun fact about me. I'd rather die than text all fucking day. Hey. Hello. You want to say hello to the camera? Does he look like he doesn't like... Mojo. Oops, sorry. Want to say hello? Say hi. Okay, see? He doesn't like being picked up. But he loves to play, just not being picked up. Hey, look what I found. In my personal life, I'm trying to get back into the gym, trying to be healthy and fit again because all my joints hurt, my back hurts, my muscles are melting away, my stomach is rotten from the inside and bloating out. And so I've also dropped going to pole, which I really used to love and enjoy and was an outlet for me. And so I'm in this kind of place in life where, let's say, like creating a new baseline where it's a new job, it's trying to like establish myself again and build up again. Does that make sense? Manjo here. I'm gonna put some TV on for him. You know what's crazy is Manjo is my son, and he also, like, we discovered he loves spooky things as well, like Cat TV, who is the GOAT on YouTube. Because it's Halloween, they uploaded like a Halloween special. He loves it. Out of every other video, that's the one that gets him running to the TV the most. It's so cute. I was like, he really is my son, with his Tim Burton ass eyes. Hey, come here. Manjo, look. It's coming, okay? Watch him. Loves it. There was a pumpkin blowing up in blood. My boy. I wouldn't say that there's a lot going on, but not really anything. So that's where I'm at personal life. So professional life. I think I say this in like every video that every time I talk about work, that yes, I am the problem. I'm probably the common denominator in why I haven't been able to stay at some of these jobs. But if I was to actually give you reasonings into why I left each of the jobs, you'd understand. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Previous job I had, there was no professional boundaries, and things started to get a bit too like, basically started like treating me as if I was family, in the sense that like someone that you abuse and they just come back. Do you know? Like, and so that was that. I was like, I have a mother, thank you very much. I have a father. I have family of my own. So, also, she made me take her nudes once. So, she was having surgery in Thailand and needed like the shots for the doctor. And yeah, so I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. I think I need to go and find another job because this is getting really messy. And yeah, I'm kind of tired as well. I'm tired of this. It was a really stressful job. Like, yeah, it shouldn't have been that stressful at all. The one before that, I quit because she kept insisting that I was autistic and like belittling me and putting me down because she thought she would get an idea in her head and that was it. She would have like prejudice against you. And she also never paid. She never paid me on time. And I would attribute that to the reason why I don't have savings, because I had a lot of savings. Like I have done since every single job that I've worked at, I've managed to have savings. But because she wouldn't pay, it was paid weekly. Because she wouldn't pay and she'd forget, I would like transfer money from my savings into my bills and expenses and rent and everything like that. And so I was always behind. And so it didn't really matter if she had like paid a lump sum of like 3 of my pays at once, because I'm already so behind. I've already used up all that money, you know? So it really, I feel so behind in money wise. And I think that's really disrespectful to not pay your staff on time and just forget to pay them, you know? And the one before that was events. And oh my God, that job I think is suited for people who love chaos, because even when it goes right, it's going wrong. And it's like crazy night, crazy hours. Like, think about events. They're on the weekend, but you have spent the whole week leading up to the weekend for doing the work. And then the way that my old job worked was you packed down the event, you set it up, you run it, you packed it down. So it's like, I remember there being, the reason why I decided like I can't do this anymore, I was losing hair, like literally in the shower. When I'd put like shampoo through my hair and go like this, I'd have clumps of hair in my hand. And I was like, okay, this is getting pretty bad. Like the level of stress there, and like not sleeping. Like, there was one time I worked 2 jobs without any sleep in between. As in, like, it was like from Friday to Sunday. Friday to Sunday I hadn't slept, because it was like, or I think it was like 45 minutes in between, because I had to set up one wedding, pack it down, and then go straight into the setup of the other wedding. So, you know, like, it's these were big productions as well. So I think that day, like, I got home at like 4 a.m. and then we needed to be on site by 5. So it was like, I literally raced home, slept for I think 30 minutes and got up and then just went on with the next job. And like, it's really negligent and really bad. And then packing down that job as well. Like, I was lucky to have like maybe one person that was nice on that crew, that they were like, just go home, like, we'll handle it, go home, you know. So yeah, it's not a job for someone who likes their health. That's all I'll say. And if you like are prone to addiction problems and abusing your body, I think it's the bacon that's making me icky. I do want to go vegetarian because I don't want to eat animals anymore. I don't. So breakfast is pretty much done. I think my favorite toxic job was the costume store. Yeah, it was really fun, and I'm getting that itch again because it's Halloween. I don't want to go out, so I do still want to dress up. So I want to get some stuff for that. That's what I wanted to do today, like to buy some wigs, which if you work in a costume store, God, it's handy. Halloween, you're making bank. Because I did used to charge people like, oh, you need this? I added my fee on top of that. If I didn't like you. If I liked you, I didn't. I was thinking of doing like something fun and different. Costume wise, it's pretty basic. Like, I'll give you a hint, it's like 80s, but the concept I really like. And I think I might try my chops at acting. Reenacting mostly, but yeah, I just want a little creative challenge for myself. Yeah, thanks for sitting along and having breakfast with me. I'm going to go ahead and play with my son and do all my chores like a good Cinderella. And I hope you have a really great week. And if you do have any questions for me that you're desperate to know and you're not my family and friends, you can leave a comment below and I'll answer it, or maybe think of something to ask me for next time I do one of these get to know me videos. Yeah. Cheery.